You know what's worse than being betrayed by strangers? Being betrayed by your own blood? People who are supposed to love you unconditionally? The ones who promise to always have your back? My name is Marcus. I'm 38 years old, a single father, and I work 2 jobs to give my daughter everything she deserves. And this is the story of how my own family tried to destroy me, how they thought I was weak, how they believed I would just roll over and take it. But they were wrong. Dead wrong. Picture this. It's my daughter Emma's 8th birthday. She's been talking about this party for months. Not just days, months. She wanted a princess-themed party with all her cousins there. She drew pictures of it. She practiced what she'd say when everyone arrived. She even made little handmade invitation cards for each family member. I spent weeks planning it. Weeks. I'm talking about ordering decorations, booking a venue at the community center, hiring an entertainer, organizing food for 30 people. I emptied my savings account. I worked extra shifts. I did everything a father could do to make his little girl's dream come true. The invitations went out 6 weeks in advance. Everyone RSVP'd. Yes. And my mom, my dad, my 2 sisters, Jennifer and Rebecca, my brother David, all my aunts, uncles, and cousins. 30 people confirmed. 30 people promised they'd be there for Emma. And you know how many showed up? 0. Not a single person. But here's where it gets interesting.
Hi.
This isn't just a story about a ruined birthday party. Oh no. This is about what happened 3 months later, when those same family members came knocking on my door with their hands out, demanding money, expecting me to just forget everything. And when I said no, they called the police on me. Yeah, you heard that right, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the beginning, to that day when everything changed forever. The day before Emma's party, I was running around like a madman, making sure everything was perfect. I picked up the cake, a 3-tier princess castle cake that cost me $200. I loaded up decorations, checked the venue, confirmed with the DJ and the face painter. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She was too excited. She kept coming into my room asking, "Daddy, is it tomorrow yet? Will Grandma really be there? Will Aunt Jenny bring her puppy like she promised?" Every question was a knife in my chest because I had no idea what was coming. The party was scheduled for 2 p.m. on Saturday. I got to the community center at 11 a.m. to set everything up. I hung pink and gold streamers everywhere. I set up 30 chairs around tables. I put out name cards for every family member. I arranged the gift table, the food station, everything. Emma arrived at 1:30 p.m. in her new princess dress. Her face was glowing. She kept running to the door every 2 minutes, waiting for people to arrive. 2 p.m. came. Nobody. "Maybe they're just running late, Daddy," Emma said, her smile still bright. 2:15 p.m. Still nobody. I started texting, calling. My mom's phone went to voicemail. Jennifer didn't pick up. David's phone was off. Rebecca texted back, "Sorry, something came up." Something came up. That was it. 2:30 p.m. Emma stopped running to the door. She just sat in her princess chair staring at all those empty seats. The DJ was playing music to an empty room. The face painter sat there with nothing to do. By 3 p.m., my daughter was crying. Not the loud tantrum kind of crying. The quiet, heartbroken kind that destroys you as a parent. The kind where they're trying to be brave, but their little chin won't stop trembling. "Why didn't they come, Daddy? Did I do something wrong?" Those words, I can still hear them echoing in my head. My 8-year-old daughter thought she had done something to deserve this. She thought it was her fault. I held her and lied through my teeth. "No, sweetheart. You're perfect." Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes. The entertainer did her best. A few of Emma's school friends and their parents showed up, had invited them too, thank God, but it wasn't the same. She wanted her family there. She wanted her cousins, her grandparents, her aunts and uncles who had promised. We cut the cake. We sang happy birthday. We smiled for photos. But inside, I was burning with a rage I had never felt before. I spent $1,850 on that party, every cent I had saved. But the money wasn't even the issue. The issue was my daughter's broken heart. That night, after Emma finally cried herself to sleep, I sat in my living room and went through my phone. I looked at the family group chat from 2 weeks before the party. Everyone was excited, making plans, talking about what gifts they'd bring. Then I noticed something strange. 3 days before the party, my sister Jennifer created a new group chat. Everyone was in it, except me and Emma. I only saw it because my mom accidentally sent a message to the wrong chat. It said, "I still think this is cruel, but if you all insist." My hands were shaking as I read that. What were they planning? Why would they do this? Then my brother David's girlfriend, who wasn't part of the family drama and didn't know about the secret chat, accidentally let something slip when. I called her asking where David was. "He's at Rebecca's house," she said innocently. "They're all there for the barbecue." My blood went cold. What barbecue? The family barbecue at Rebecca's? Wait, weren't you invited? And just like that, everything became crystal clear. They didn't forget Emma's party. They didn't have emergencies. They deliberately planned something else on the exact same day, at the exact same time, and didn't tell us. They ghosted my daughter's birthday party to have their own gathering without us. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept asking myself why. What had I done to deserve this? What had Emma done? The next morning, I drove to my mother's house. I needed answers. She opened the door, looking uncomfortable. She knew, of course. She knew. "Marcus, why?" I cut her off. "Why would you do this to Emma?" My mother sighed and wouldn't meet my eyes. "Come inside." We sat in her kitchen, the same kitchen where I'd eaten breakfast as a kid, where I'd celebrated my own birthdays, where I'd been part of a family that supposedly loved each other. "Your sisters thought it would be better this way," she finally said. Better. My daughter cried for 3 hours yesterday. She thinks she did something wrong. "Marcus, you have to understand. Jennifer and Rebecca feel like you've been distant since Sarah left." Sarah, my ex-wife, Emma's mother, the woman who abandoned us 3 years ago to find herself in California with her new boyfriend. "What does Sarah have to do with any of this?" My mother looked uncomfortable. "The family thought you were difficult after the divorce. You stopped coming to family dinners. You were always working. Rebecca invited you to her wedding anniversary party last year and you didn't come." "I was working. I'm a single father with 2 jobs, Mom. I couldn't just take a day off." I felt rejected, Marcus. "So Jennifer suggested that maybe it was time to show you what it feels like to be left out." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was revenge. They punished my 8-year-old daughter because their feelings were hurt. So this was Jennifer's idea. My mother nodded slowly. "She convinced everyone that you needed to learn a lesson, that you'd been taking the family for granted." Rebecca agreed. David went along with it. "Your father and we tried to argue against it, but we were outvoted." Outvoted? "This isn't a democracy, Mom. This is my child we're talking about." "No. I'm sorry, I really am. But sorry wasn't enough. Sorry doesn't fix a little girl's broken heart." I left my mother's house and drove straight to Jennifer's place. Lived in a nice house in the suburbs with her husband and 2 kids. I rang the doorbell until she answered. "Marcus, what do you had a barbecue?" I said flatly. "On Emma's birthday? You organized the whole family to skip her party so you could teach me a lesson." Jennifer crossed her arms defensively. "You needed to understand how it feels to be excluded. So, you punished my daughter? Don't be so dramatic. It's just a birthday party. Kids forget about these things. Just a birthday party. Kids forget." I wanted to scream. I wanted to rage. But instead, I did something I never thought I'd do. I took a step back and looked at my sister. Ely looked at her hand. I realized I didn't know this person anymore. This wasn't the sister who used to defend me on the playground. This wasn't the sister who helped me through my divorce. This was a stranger. A cruel, petty stranger. "You know what, Jennifer? You're right. Emma will forget about this party. But I'll never forget what you did. None of you are welcome in our lives anymore? Don't be ridiculous. I mean it. You, Rebecca, David, all of you, you're dead to us." I walked away before she could respond. I blocked every family member's number. I left all the group chats. I deleted them from social media. For 3 months, Emma and I built our own little world. Just the 2 of us. We had movie nights, we went to parks, we made our own traditions. She stopped asking about her grandparents and cousins. Life moved on. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 3 months after Emma's birthday, on a random Tuesday evening, someone knocked on my door. It was Jennifer. And Rebecca, and my mother. I stood in the doorway, not inviting them in. "What do you want?" Jennifer cleared her throat. "We need to talk to you about something important. Can we come in?" "No. Say what you need to say." Rebecca jumped in. "Look, we know things have been ... tense. But we're family. And family helps family." I almost laughed. "Family, you're using that word now?" My mother looked pained. "Marcus, please. Just hear us out." Against my better judgment, I let them in. They sat in my living room, the same living room where Emma had cried about her party, and proceeded to tell me the most unbelievable story I'd ever heard. Apparently, Jennifer's husband lost his job 2 months ago. They were behind on their mortgage. The bank was threatening foreclosure. They needed $1,850 to catch up on payments. $1,850, the exact amount I spent on Emma's party. "We've been asking everyone in the family," Jennifer explained. "Everyone's chipping in what they can. Mom and Dad gave $500. Rebecca gave $300. We just need a bit more, and we'll be okay." They all looked at me expectantly. I sat there in stunned silence. The audacity. The sheer, unbelievable audacity of these people. "Let me get this straight," I said slowly. "You want me to give you money?" "It's not just giving," Rebecca corrected. "We'll pay you back. Eventually. When Jennifer's husband finds work, eventually." "Yes, we're family, Marcus. This is what family does." Something snapped inside me. Not in an angry way, in a calm, crystal clear way. "You're absolutely right," I said. "This is what family does. Family shows up for each other. Family keeps promises. Family doesn't break a little girl's heart for petty revenge." Jennifer's face flushed. "Are you seriously still hung up on that birthday party?" "Still hung up? It's been 3 months. 3 months where you haven't apologized? 3 months where you haven't checked on Emma. 3 months where you've shown me exactly what kind of people you are." Rebecca asked, her voice getting sharp. "Help you?" I stood up. "I spent $1,850 making my daughter's dream come true. You destroyed it. And now you want me to give you the same amount of money so you can keep your house? The house where you threw a barbecue on my daughter's birthday? This is different," Jennifer shouted. "We could lose our home. And my daughter lost her family. But nobody cared about that, did they?" My mother tried to intervene. "Marcus, I understand you're hurt, but Jennifer's situation is serious. Think about your niece and nephew. They'll be homeless, and maybe Jennifer should have thought about that before she decided to teach me a lesson. Actions have consequences, Mom. You all taught me that." I walked to the door and opened it. "I want you to leave, now."
Ah!
Rebecca stood up, her face twisted with anger. "You're really going to let your own sister become homeless? Over a stupid party?" "No," I said calmly. "You're going to lose your house because you made bad financial decisions and your husband lost his job. That has nothing to do with me." Jennifer was crying now. "Please, Marcus. I'm begging you. We made a mistake, okay? I'm sorry about the party. I'm sorry about everything. But please don't punish my kids for my mistakes."
What?
And there it was. The same argument she'd ignored 3 months ago when I'd said the exact same thing about Emma. "Get out." They left. But not before Rebecca threw one last threat over her shoulder. "You'll regret this, Marcus. You'll regret turning your back on family." I closed the door and stood there, my heart pounding. Part of me felt guilty. Part of me felt powerful. Part of me felt like I'd just crossed a line I could never uncross. But mostly, I felt free. 2 days later, there was another knock on my door. This time it was the police. 2 officers stood on my porch, looking official and serious. My stomach dropped. "Are you Marcus Thompson?" One of them asked. "Yes. What's this about?" "We received a report that you're refusing to return borrowed money to a family member. Can we come in and talk to you about this? Borrowed money? What borrowed money? I let them in, completely confused. They sat down and pulled out a notebook. Your sister Jennifer filed a report claiming that you borrowed $1,850 from her 6 months ago and are now refusing to pay it back. She says you've blocked her calls and threatened her when she tried to collect. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Jennifer had lied to the police. She'd fabricated an entire story to force me to give her money. Officers, I never borrowed any money from my sister. This is completely false. She has text messages that she says prove the loan. Then let's see them, because I guarantee you they're fake. The officer looked uncomfortable. Sir, this is really a civil matter. We're just here to encourage you to work this out with your family. There's nothing to work out. She's lying. The other officer spoke up. Your sister seemed pretty convincing, sir. She was crying. She showed us photos of you at family gatherings, said you've always been close until recently when you refused to pay her back. And that's when I understood the whole play. Jennifer wasn't just trying to guilt me into giving her money. She was trying to use the police to intimidate me. She probably thought I'd be so scared of legal trouble that I'd just pay her to make it go away. But she'd made one crucial mistake. I keep records of everything. Officers, give me 5 minutes. I went to my office and pulled out my files. Bank statements showing the $1,850 I'd spent on Emma's party. The receipts from the venue, the caterer, the entertainer, the invitation lists with everyone's RSVP. Screenshots from my phone before they'd all blocked me. And most importantly, I pulled up my bank records going back to years. Every transaction, every deposit and withdrawal, here I said, laying everything out on the table. This is proof that I spent $1,850 on my daughter's birthday party 3 months ago, a party that my entire family, including Jennifer, RSVP'd to, and then deliberately skipped. Here are the receipts. Here are the text messages where they all confirmed attendance. And here are my bank records showing I never received any loan from Jennifer or anyone else in my family. The officers looked through everything carefully. Their expressions changed from suspicious to sympathetic. And this, I continued, pulling up my phone, is a screenshot from our family group chat where Jennifer's daughter posted photos from the barbecue they had on the same day as my daughter's party, the same day they were all supposed to be there for Emma. One of the officers sighed heavily. Sir, it appears your sister may have misrepresented the situation. Misrepresented. She filed a false police report because I refused to give her money. Has she been harassing you? She came to my house demanding money 2 days ago. When I said no, she threatened that I'd regret it. And now you're here. The officers exchanged glances. Would you like to file a counter-report for harassment or filing a false claim? I thought about it. I could have Jennifer arrested. I could make her life even more difficult than it already was. But I'm not like them. Oh, I said. I just want documentation that this happened. I want it on record that she lied to the police and tried to use you to extort money from me.
Ow.
They nodded and made notes. We'll file a report about this visit and include your evidence. If she contacts you again or files another false report, you'll have grounds for a restraining order. After they left, I sat on my couch, my hands shaking, not from fear, from anger, from betrayal. From the realization that my own sister had tried to weaponize the police against me. That night, after Emma went to bed, I made a decision. This needed to end. But it needed to end my way. I spent the next week gathering everything I needed. Every screenshot, every receipt, every text message, every voicemail. I documented everything that had happened over the past 3 months. Then I created a group email. Every member of my extended family went on the list. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone who had been at that barbecue. Everyone who knew what happened. I wrote a letter. Not an angry rant. Not a bitter attack. Just a simple, factual account of everything that had happened. I explained how Emma's party was planned. How everyone RSVP'd, how they all deliberately ghosted her to attend Jennifer's barbecue instead. How my 8-year-old daughter cried for hours thinking she'd done something wrong. I explained how Jennifer, Rebecca, and my mother came to my house 3 months later demanding $1,850, the exact amount I'd spent on the party because Jennifer was behind on her mortgage. I explained how I said no, and how Jennifer responded by filing a false police report claiming I'd borrowed money from her and refused to pay it back, and then I attached everything. Every piece of evidence, every screenshot, every receipt, the police report, everything at the end of the email. I wrote this. I'm not sending this to shame anyone or to get revenge. I'm sending this so everyone understands why Emma and I will no longer be part of this family. Some of you may think I'm overreacting. Some of you may think I'm being petty. But here's what I know. Family isn't about blood. It's about showing up. It's about keeping promises. It's about protecting each other, especially the children. You all failed that test. Every single one of you who knew about the plan and went along with it, every single one of you who stood by while my daughter's heart was broken. I don't hate you. I don't wish bad things on you, but I'm done. Emma and I are building our own family now, one based on people who actually care about us, not people who share our DNA. If Jennifer loses her house, that's tragic. I genuinely feel sorry for her kids. But it's not my responsibility to fix the consequences of her choices, especially when she's never once apologized for destroying my daughter's birthday, or for lying to the police about me. To those of you who tried to argue against the plan, thank you. I appreciate that you tried, but you still went along with it in the end, and that speaks volumes. This is goodbye. Please don't contact me or Emma. We've moved on, and I suggest you do the same, Marcus. I hit send at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night. Then I turned off my phone and went to bed. The next morning, I turned my phone back on 287 messages and 23 missed calls. Most of them were exactly what I expected. Jennifer screaming at me in voicemails. Rebecca sending nasty texts. My mother begging me to take down the email saying I'd humiliated the family. But there were others. Surprising ones. My cousin Michelle, who I hadn't talked to in years, sent a long message. Marcus. I had no idea this happened. Jennifer told us that Emma's party was canceled because Emma was sick. Nobody knew you all showed up to an empty room. This is horrible. I'm so sorry. 3 other cousins sent similar messages. They'd been lied to. Jennifer had told different people different stories to cover up what really happened. My uncle, Robert, my dad's brother, called me. I'm ashamed of this family, he said. What they did to that little girl is unforgivable. Your father should have put a stop to it. I'm sorry I wasn't there to help you. But the most surprising message came from Jennifer's husband, Tom. Marcus, I just read your email. I didn't know about any of this. Jennifer told me your family had a falling out over something you said at a family dinner. She never mentioned Emma's party or what really happened. I'm horrified. I'm so sorry. I'm going to talk to Jennifer about this. What she did was wrong. All of it. Over the next few days, the family imploded. Not because of me, I stayed completely silent, but because the truth was finally out there. People were forced to take sides. Some sided with Jennifer, claiming I was cruel for airing family business. Others sided with me, saying what happened to Emma was unforgivable. My parents were somewhere in the middle, trying to play peacemaker, but ultimately looking weak and complicit. Jennifer sent me one final message. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed this family. My marriage is falling apart. I'm probably going to lose my house. All because you couldn't forgive one mistake. I didn't respond, because it wasn't one mistake. It was a series of choices. It was planning. It was cruelty. It was lying to the police. It was showing zero remorse until consequences appeared. 2 weeks after I sent that email, I got a call from a lawyer. My Uncle Robert's lawyer. Actually, Uncle Robert had decided to help me take legal action against Jennifer for filing a false police report. I can't let this stand, he told me. If she gets away with lying to the police about you, she'll do it again to someone else. This needs to be on record. The lawyer filed the paperwork. Jennifer was forced to appear in court and answer for the false report. She ended up paying a fine and getting a mark on her record. It wasn't life-destroying, but it was justice. As for Jennifer's house, she lost it. Not because I didn't give her money, but because she was already 3 months behind on payments when she came to me. My $1,850 wouldn't have saved her. It would have just delayed the inevitable by 1 month. She and her family moved into a smaller apartment. It was hard on them. I felt sorry for my niece and nephew, but that wasn't my burden to carry. 6 months after Emma's ruined birthday party, we had a celebration. Just Emma and me, and about 20 other people. But these weren't family members. These were the real people in our lives. Emma's teachers who'd noticed she was struggling and had been extra kind to her. Her best friend's parents who'd become close friends of mine. My coworker who'd covered my shifts when I was falling apart. The neighbor who'd dropped off meals when she saw I was overwhelmed. These were our family now. The family we chose. Emma was happy. Genuinely, beautifully happy. She'd stopped asking about Grandma and her cousins. She'd stopped wondering why nobody came to her party. She'd moved on, and so had I. Do I regret what I did? Sending that email? Refusing to give Jennifer money? Letting her face the consequences of her actions? No, not even a little bit. Because here's what I learned. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is remove toxic people from your life, even if they're family. Especially if they're family. Blood doesn't give people the right to hurt you. Blood doesn't excuse cruelty. Blood doesn't mean you have to keep giving chances to people who've proven they don't deserve them. Spent my whole life believing that family was everything. That you stick by family no matter what. That forgiveness is always the answer. But I was wrong. Sometimes the answer is boundaries. Sometimes the answer is walking away. Sometimes the answer is protecting yourself and your child from people who will hurt you again and again. My daughter learned a hard lesson at 8 years old. She learned that people will let you down. But she also learned something more important, that her father will always, always protect her. That we don't need people who don't value us. That we can build our own happiness, and me. I learned that I'm stronger than I thought. That I don't need my family's approval or presence to be whole. That standing up for yourself isn't cruel, it's necessary. Jennifer still sends messages sometimes. Apologies mixed with blame. I'm sorry, but you ruined everything type messages. I don't respond. There's nothing left to say. My mother calls every few months trying to guilt me into reconciling. Life is short, Marcus. Emma needs her grandparents. We're getting old. But Emma doesn't need grandparents who would hurt her like that. She needs people who show up. People who keep promises. People who love her unconditionally. And we have those people now. If you're watching this video because something similar happened to you, let me tell you something. You are not wrong for setting boundaries. You are not wrong for protecting your peace. You are not wrong for walking away from toxic people, even if they're family. The world will tell you to forgive. To be the bigger person. To keep the peace. But sometimes keeping the peace means sacrificing your own peace. And that's too high a price to pay. My daughter's 8th birthday party cost me $1,850 and my entire family. Some people might say I paid too high a price, that I should have just sucked it up and moved on. But those people are wrong. Because what I actually lost was people who never truly valued me. And what I gained was self-respect, boundaries, a clear understanding of what real family looks like. Real family shows up. Real family keeps promises. Real family doesn't punish children for adult problems. Everything else? That's just people you happen to share DNA with, and trust me, DNA isn't enough. So if you're in a situation where family is hurting you, manipulating you, using you, or betraying you, remember this. You have permission to walk away. You have permission to say no. You have permission to protect yourself and the people you love. Sometimes revenge isn't about getting even. Sometimes revenge is simply refusing to let people hurt you anymore. That's the best revenge of all. Living well. Being happy. Moving forward without the people who tried to break you. That's my story. That's my revenge. That's my justice. And you know what? I sleep better now than I have in years.